Yoga, Bombomti, Chini Tanchu, Mungondu.
If y'all don't know who Nathan Lloyd is, please go check out his channel.
Thing I'm gonna be showing you guys on my channel, you guys are gonna be saying, damn it, boy.
For more than a month, Mona Lisa Perez said her boyfriend had been begging her to launch his YouTube channel with a bang.
They're the young sweethearts at the center of a YouTube stunt gone tragically wrong. Cops say 22-year-old Pedro Ruiz held a book to his chest and persuaded his girlfriend to fire a gun at him from 1 foot away.
All right, so obviously, this is not going to end well. So let me introduce you to Pedro Ruiz. He's 22 and he wants to have YouTube stardom. Now, Pedro's girlfriend, Mona Lisa Perez, who's 19 years old, is pregnant with Pedro's child, and they have hatched a plan for YouTube fame. Now first, let's start with what's supposed to have happened. Pedro was going to hold a book in front of his chest and have his girlfriend pull the trigger on a Desert Eagle .50.
I want to get into more detail on the day in a minute, but let's take a step back. What was it that drew you to this project in the first place, to Rust?
I'd worked on a project with Joel before.
Joel Souza, the director.
Right. He did this movie, Crown Vic, that I produced. And Joel and I stayed in touch. We're friends, and I loved Rust. He said, I want to send you this. And I read it, and I said, I love it. I love it.
Rust, a low-budget Western, tells the story of an aging outlaw on the run with his young grandson. Baldwin, the film's star, is also one of the producers.
Very excited, so excited that we finally got this made, because every independent film has many false starts, you know what I mean? And when it finally goes, and you feel like a plane, and when you finally get some lift under your wings, it's very, very gratifying. I am a purely creative producer. My authorities as a producer are casting and script, which are actually married to the role of being a lead actor in a film. My consultations or approvals were completely about casting and about the script. I don't hire anybody in the crew.
Not even the cinematographer, no one?
No, but he will apprise me of what he's doing. And he'll say to me, I got Helena Hutchins to be the DP. I said, how do you feel about that? Are you excited? I'm very excited. She's wonderful.
What did you know about Helena Hutchins before she started working on this?
I knew nothing about her until Joel said to me, I got her. She was fantastic.
Helena Hutchins, the talented cinematographer praised by many in the industry, was a trailblazer in the field historically dominated by men.
Make sure we don't see people walking around, like walking around.
Ready? Action.
The Ukrainian-born cinematographer quickly gelled with Baldwin.
The people who watched The Daily said that her work was beautiful. She was someone who was loved by everyone who worked with and liked by everyone who worked with and admired. Sorry. But admired by everybody who worked with her.
Rust's 21-day production began filming on October 6th at the Bonanza Creek Ranch.
The day that I flew there, they'd been shooting for a week already. I come the following week on the 11th. That night of the 11th, I had dinner with Helena and Joel. And we talked about some of the compositions I was thinking of to...
That was the first time you met?
First time I met Helena, yeah.
What was your first impression?
When I met her, I knew she had that spark. I knew she had that flint to her, that she was going to get that day's work done and get the shots that she wanted. She was very focused.
She had a vision for the film?
She was very focused. We had a discussion about compositions of shots in which you were shooting these beautiful tableaus of the West. She had that intensity. Every day you went to work, she would say, good morning, how are you? How was your evening? Boom, it was small talk, go. We weren't going to hang out and chit-chat or whatever. She knew that the clock was the enemy, and we have to move forward.
Once on set, Baldwin posts this video.
And no, I'm not playing Santa Claus. On the 12th, I had a safety demonstration with Hannah Reed, the armorer.
24-year-old Hannah Gutierrez Reed, seen here in photos by thedailymail.com, was hired as the film's armorer, in charge of all weapons on set. The daughter of a famous Hollywood armorer, Rust was only her second film in this role. She spoke to the Voices of the West podcast about working as lead armorer for her first film before Rust.
I was really nervous about it at first, and I almost didn't take the job because I wasn't sure if I was ready, but doing it, it went really smoothly.
The first thing you may be saying is hey, a book is not a bulletproof vest, but this trick has been done before. Here is a clip from The Sopranos where you can see a phone book stop the bullet.
Relax. This'll muffle the shot. Adios, you skank. Hey, look at this, Joey. Today's a lucky day. Only made it to the R's. Next time. There'll be no next time.
So now Pedro wasn't dumb. He conducted multiple tests to see if a book would actually successfully stop the bullet, which it did every single time. He even showed his girlfriend, who was going to be doing the shooting, the proof of concept. Now, Mona Lisa, Pedro's girlfriend, was like, yo, we may want to rethink this. This may not be good for us, but Pedro was laser focused. This will work, and we have tested it.
For more than a month, Mona Lisa Perez said her boyfriend had been begging her to launch his YouTube channel with a bang.
So, babe, let's go ahead and show them what we have in store for our first video.
On June 26th last year, she says she finally gave in. Perez told investigators that Pedro Ruiz had showed her a book before where a bullet didn't fully pierce a hardcover book.
I'm just not going to just set it and just shoot it. No. I'm going to stand behind it. And Mona Lisa is going to shoot it.
Now, for those of you who are gun safety nuts like I am, obviously Pedro has a lot of things going wrong with this picture, right? His finger is on the trigger, which is a no-no. Treat all guns as if they're loaded, and he is pretty loosey-goosey with the weapon. But Pedro has a plan, he's tested it, and he wants YouTube fame.
We spent an hour and a half shooting the pistol, her giving me all her safety instructions.
Did you think she was up to the job?
I assumed because she was there and she was hired, she was up for the job.
And nothing she did raised any red flags with you?
No.
This training course you do, what did she tell you?
She'd say things like, remember, this is a blank round, so you have to create the discharge yourself because there's no projectile. So if you shot the gun, you go bang. When we roll the camera, you got to go bang and have the gun snap back. You have to create that. She would give you little tips about firing, and she'd say to you, when we're done, point the gun down. When we're done, you give the gun to me or to Halls, only those two people.
Dave Halls was Rust's assistant director. Lane Looper, the first camera assistant, would email production managers a resignation letter later that night, citing safety concerns. Quote, during the filming of gunfights on this job, things are often played very fast and loose. So far, there have been 2 accidental weapons discharges. He also wrote about concerns about reasonable rest and housing for local crew with long commutes to the set.
When he quit, now, the day before that happened, we wrapped. And he came up to me and he said, thank you for the position you've taken on behalf of IATSE and the union on social media. I said, my pleasure.
And Alec posted this on Instagram.
And I want to say to the people in IATSE, do what you need to do. You want to go on strike? Go on strike. Because I'll tell you something about the executives. They don't give a about you. He said, because we have some issues here. I said, such as? And he said, my men need a better hotel room. There was no mention of safety issues.
He didn't say anything about the accidental discharges on set?
He didn't say anything about anything other. He goes, my men need better hotel rooms. I said, well, we're leaving, we're wrapping. Will you be here tomorrow? He said, yes. Because what I was about to do, which I've done on any number of films and TV projects, was to give more of my salary back to the production to pay for X. And I was about to say to him, let me know what it would be to B&B you guys in a house that's closer to how we can address your problem. I will be happy to contribute to that. The next day they were gone.
So you had no sense from anyone on the set that people had been stretched to the point where safety was compromised?
No. I never heard one word about that, none.
Rust producers told ABC News Mr. Looper's allegations around budget and safety are patently false, which is not surprising, considering his job was to be a camera operator, and he had absolutely nothing to do with or knowledge of safety protocols or budgets. Safety is always the #1 priority on our films.
When people say cutting costs, I don't say this with any judgment or any cynicism. Spielberg wants to save money. Tom Cruise wants to save money. Everybody who makes movies has a responsibility not to be reckless and careless with the money that you're given. You know, those are men who make movies that cost $205 million. And I'm making movies that cost $5 million or thereabouts.
The question, though, is were costs being cut at the expense of safety and security?
In my opinion, no, because I did not observe any safety or security issues at all in the time I was there.
Ready, and action.
No, just.
Yeah? When you drop your arm, that means he's 10 feet away. I can't see how close he is, but I want to be almost up by the time he gets here.
No, I'm going to go into this.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you something. Hold on. Step back to your original mark. So 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3, I'm getting up.
Right.
Then when he drops his arm, Helena get out, he drops his arm, that means Brady's close. I'm going to start to really get up.
Okay.
One more. I forgot to recoil stuff. No, right away. Let's reload. Here we go.
So, Helena.
And cut. Go! 3, 2, 1. There you go.
All right, Candy, I'm going.
For 15 minutes, the camera first captures his rambling plans.
Every week, I'm going to be bringing you guys new videos, crazy videos.
Before he shows off what's been billed as the world's most powerful handgun.
Now, Pedro sets it all up, and even in the moment when she's got the gun in her hand, she's like, I don't want to do this. Here's a transcript of what happened.
A transcript of the audio reveals her hesitation. Babe, I'm not doing this. I can't. If I kill you, what's going to happen to my life? Like, no, this isn't okay. As long as you hit the book, you'll be fine, Ruiz says. These pictures show she did, standing an arm's length away. A young man craving fame who got it for all the wrong reasons.
I may fail, but if I fail, I want to die trying.
So she succumbed to Pedro's advances and pulled the trigger, and this is what happened.
Just look at the damage 2 bullets did to this huge dictionary in our demonstration. They came right out the other side.
The Desert Eagle 50 caliber is one of the most powerful handguns in the world. It's basically a rifle for one-handed shooting.
Cops say Ruiz and his 19-year-old girlfriend Mona Lisa Perez staged the stunt at their Minnesota home to lure more viewers to their YouTube channel. They spoke about the channel in a video posted the same day Pedro was killed.
Imagine when we have 300,000 subscribers.
Monday, Perez and Ruiz prepared to do the stunt that they thought would bring them fame through their YouTube channel, La Mona Lisa. Perez even tweeted this, showing she was a little apprehensive. Me and Pedro are probably going to shoot one of the most dangerous videos ever. His idea, not mine. After setting up 2 cameras, Perez shot a pistol at Ruiz from about a foot away. The book didn't stop the bullet and it pierced Ruiz in the chest. After medics tried to revive him, he was declared dead at their Minnesota home. It was Perez who called 911 and described the prank plan to police.
Thursday, October 21st, Baldwin posts a photo of himself in costume on Instagram. Back to in-person at the office. Blimey, it's exhausting. That morning, Looper and 6 other crew members walked off the set. Filming continued with a replacement camera crew. Scene 118 in the church was slated for after lunch.
Everybody there was having a positive experience. People who are watching this show, people who are back home, you have no idea how unique an environment a motion picture set is. It's kind of, there's an instant familiarity. The amount of care, these are people who are professionals, who have really good jobs in a field they love. And I looked at all these people and I see how hard they work. They're so hardworking and they're so conscientious. And you're around people and you're part of one of the great collaborative processes in the world, movie making. Everyone moving like a watch to get everything done. And when you kind of, I don't make that many movies anymore because movie making demanded that I travel and I didn't want to leave my family. All these movies I made, I stayed home. I didn't want to go. If I went away for a week. To leave my family for 4 weeks and go shoot this movie, that was a big deal. And I'm sitting on this pew. And so help me God. I sat on that pew right before they called lunch, and I said, this movie has made me love making movies again. Because I used to love to make movies. I did.
She was arrested and has been charged with second-degree manslaughter. If convicted, she could face 10 years in prison.
So Mona Lisa Perez, 19 years old, pleaded guilty to killing her boyfriend because it was literally caught on tape. She pointed the gun at him, pulled the trigger, and he died. I don't think you can really make a good defense for this one. But now here's a question for you. How much time should she serve behind bars?
You know, sorry. You know, people, they have their dreams. No matter how old you are, you have your dreams of people you want to work with. And this movie made me love making movies again. I really thought we were onto something.
This is a major felony. Someone has died, and the sentence is up to 10 years. How much time would you give Mona Lisa for the killing of her boyfriend?
Today, the mother of his kids heard her punishment. The judge here in Norman County said no cameras allowed in the courtroom for the sentencing of Perez. It was after some emotional testimony we learned that she could be doing up to 6 months behind bars.
His family is hurting. Well, man, our family is hurting just as much too. And Mona Lisa loved Pedro with all of her heart. Do you think she wanted to do that? It's just a tragedy. It was just a tragedy. I don't think it's fair. We don't have him ever again. You know, whatever the truth was, we still don't know. She hasn't apologized to any of my family. I don't think it's fair.
The message they want conveyed?
Don't try to do it to get rich or famous or anything like that. Just don't do it. It's ridiculously crazy.
It was the 12th day of their 21-day shoot.
That day, I did exactly what I've done every day on that movie.
Baldwin was preparing for his next scene, a shootout inside this wooden church.
Set the scene right before that happened. You're sitting in a pew in the church.
Right.
What's the scene supposed to be?
The scene is the two guys are there who have got me, cornered, and they think I'm shot pretty bad, and I'm kind of wilting, and they have a gun, and then the sound outside distracts them, and I then draw the gun, cross-draw out of my holster, pull the gun up like that, and start to cock the pistol, cut. I'm handed a gun, and someone declares, they said, this is a cold gun.
Dave Halls?
The first AD. In my years on the sets of film, hot gun meant that there was a charge in there, and cold gun meant there was nothing in there. When he's saying this is a cold gun, what he's saying to everybody on the set is you can relax. The gun is empty.
That's what cold gun means.
Well, cold gun means there's no charge in there. There could be dummy rounds.
A dummy round looks like a real bullet, but is completely inert. It contains no explosive charge.
And you were rehearsing that scene. Was it an actual rehearsal? There's some disagreement about that, whether it was a formal rehearsal at that time.
This is a marking rehearsal where I'm going to show her. She's standing next to the camera. She's like this. You're me. She's got a monitor here. The camera is here filming that way. She takes a monitor that is his monitor, the operator, and turns it toward her. It swivels, and she says to me, hold the gun lower. Go to your right. Okay, right there. All right, do that. Now, show it a little bit lower. And she's getting me to position the gun. Everything is in her direction. She's guiding me through how she wants me to hold the gun for this angle. And I draw the gun out, and I find a mark. I draw the gun out, I find a cut. And what's really urgent is the gun wasn't meant to be fired in that angle.
So if you're shooting directly into the camera lens, you're not aiming.
I'm not shooting into the camera lens. I'm shooting just off.
Just off.
Right, in her direction. I'm holding the gun where she told me to hold it, which ended up being aimed right in below her armpit, was what I was told. This was a completely incidental shot, an angle that may not have ended up in the film at all. But we kept doing this, and so then I said to her, now in this scene, I'm going to cock the gun. And I said, do you want to see that? And she said, yes. So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I said, do you see that? She goes, well, just cheat it down and tilt it down a little bit like that. And I cock the gun. I go, can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. I let go of the hammer of the gun goes off.
At the moment, the decisive
That was the moment the gun went off, yeah. That was the moment the gun went off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never. That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at me and pull the trigger. On day one of my instruction in this business, people said to me, never take a gun and go click, 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 because even though it's incremental, you damage the firing pin on the gun if you do that. Don't do that.
And Hall's attorney told ABC News that he was watching and agrees that Alec did not pull the trigger.
So you have this Colt 45, you just pulled?
The hammer as far back as I could without cocking the actual
And you're holding onto the hammer?
I'm holding that. I'm just showing. I go, how about that? Does that work? You see that? Do you see that? She goes, yeah, that's good. I let go of the hammer. Bang, the gun goes off. Everyone is horrified. They're shocked. It's loud. They don't have their earplugs in. No one was. The gun was supposed to be empty. I was told I was handed an empty gun. If there were cosmetic rounds, nothing with a charge at all, a flash round, nothing. She goes down. I thought to myself, did she faint? The notion that there was a live round in that gun did not dawn on me till probably 45 minutes to an hour later.
45 minutes to an hour?
Well, she's laying there and I go, did she get hit by wadding? Was there a blank? Sometimes those blank rounds have a wadding inside that packs, it's like a cloth that packs the gunpowder in. Sometimes wadding comes out and can hit people and it can feel like a little bit of a poke. But no one could understand, did she have a heart attack? Because remember, the idea that someone put a live bullet in the gun was not even in reality.
Did you go up to her? Did you back
I went
away?
up to her and then we were told to get out of the building. We were forced to get out of the building. The medics came in. I mean, I stood over her for 60 seconds and she just lay there kind of in shock.
Was she conscious?
My recollection is yes.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
Now, in an ironic twist to this whole story, the couple actually did go viral. So viral that Charlamagne the God gave them Donkey of the Day.
Goes to a young couple named Mona Lisa Perez, 19 years old, and Pedro Ruiz, 22 years old. Never will I understand the desire to be famous by any means necessary, okay? Well, this Minnesota couple had that desire. Let's go to KULY-TV NBC for the report, please.
A woman is now facing manslaughter charges in what is being called a YouTube stunt gone wrong. The family of Pedro Ruiz say he gave a .50 caliber handgun to his girlfriend Monday night and insisted she shoot it at a book he was holding, thinking it would stop the bullet. Ruiz lost his life.
No.
His girlfriend, Mona Lisa Perez, was initially held on charges of firing a gun recklessly, but those charges were upgraded late this morning to manslaughter.
Please give Pedro Ruiz and Mona Lisa Perez the biggest hee-haws, please.
Now their YouTube channel was abandoned and she has now moved on with her life and is raising their 2 kids alone. But lesson to be learned here. Sometimes it's just not worth it. Pedro thought he understood what was going on, tested the event, but didn't take all the precautions like using the same exact book that worked before, checking ammo. There are a lot of things that could go wrong with this, and it did, unfortunately. And it also lets you know that, hey, even if someone tells you to do something ridiculous, you have to say no, because she now has a felony criminal record. She can't own a gun anymore. She can't do any of that stuff. She is a convicted felon for killing her boyfriend. Let me know how you feel in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this story. Do you really think the 6 months that she got in jail is enough? Should she have gotten more? How does this make you think about the Alec Baldwin case, for instance? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget
She was in the church and she was not taken out of the church for quite a while.
In the aftermath, there was chaos and confusion.
But nobody told you what happened?
No. It wasn't until I was in the police station. Hours later, I mean, it was like seeing aliens. It was utter disbelief over the idea. It was unacceptable, the idea that it was a live round. And finally, one of the police officers at the conclusion of my interview, I was there for like an hour and a half or so, she takes her phone and she slides it across to me. She says, that's what came out of Joel's shoulder, a .45 caliber slug. It was a real bullet.
Had you known that Joel had been hit?
No one had any idea until that police officer, that sheriff's officer said to me, this is the slug, .45 caliber slug they took out of Joel's arm. And then the kind of insanity-inducing agony of thinking that someone put a live bullet in the gun.
Several people showing you an empty gun.
If I were holding that gun, I would have checked it, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. People said to me, I got countless people online saying, you idiot, you never point a gun at someone. Well, unless you're told it's empty, and it's the director of photography who's instructing you on the angle for a shot we're going to do. And she and I had this thing in common where we both thought it was empty, and it wasn't. And that's not her responsibility, that's not my responsibility. Whose responsibility is remains to be seen. But I do.
Well, there are some who say you're never supposed to point a gun at anyone on a set, no matter what.
Unless the person is the cinematographer who's directing me where to point the gun for her camera angle. That's exactly what happened. That day, I did exactly what I've done every day on that movie.
Which is what?
Which is that there's an armorer there, and that word is new to me. In the years I've been in this
What
business,
did you call it?
It was a prop guy or woman. And the prop person would come, and sometimes they would insist on demonstrating for you and the camera crew. They take the gun, if it was a contemporary gun, they show you the chamber, they show you the clip, they say, the gun is cold. And you look at it and go, thank you. And in the 40 years...
Sometimes that would happen, not all the time.
Well, but no, sometimes they wouldn't demonstrate to me. Some insisted on demonstrating. They would do the demonstration for everybody there right before we rolled the camera, or rehearsed. Then there were others who they didn't do that because I trusted them to do the job. And again, this is not just me pointing a gun at somebody else, people pointing guns at me. I've gotten shot and killed in films before where people had to shoot a flash round at me, and I trusted them to do their job. And in the 40 years I've been in this business, all the way up until that day, I never had a problem.
Every single time I'm handed a gun on a set, every time, Mark, they hand me a gun, I look at it, I open it, I show it to the person I'm pointing it to, we show it to the crew. Every single take, you hand it back to the armor when you're done, you do it again. Right. Everyone does it. Everybody knows it.
How do you respond to actors like George Clooney who say that every time they were handed a gun, they checked it themselves?
Well, there were a lot of people who felt it necessary to contribute some comment to the situation, which really didn't help the situation at all. You have if your protocol is you check the gun every time, well, good for you. Good for you. You know what I mean? I probably handled weapons as much as any other actor in films with an average career. Again, shooting or being shot by someone. And in that time, I had a protocol, and it never let me down.
Why did you choose in your 40 years not to check the gun yourself?
What I was taught by someone years ago was, as I said, if I took a gun and I popped a clip out of a gun or I manipulated the chamber of a gun, they would take the gun away from me and redo it. The prop person said, don't do that, when I was young. And they'd say, one thing you need to understand is we don't want the actor to be the last line of defense against a catastrophic breach of safety with the gun. My job, they told me, man or woman, my job is to make sure the gun is safe, and then I hand you the gun and I declare the gun safe. The crew's not relying on you to say that it's safe. They're relying on me to say that it's safe. When that person who was charged with that job handed me the weapon, I trusted them, and I never had a problem.
And this was from the beginning of your career?
From day one. There's one person that's supposed to make sure that what is in the gun is right and that what's wrong is not in the gun. One person has that responsibility to maintain the gun. And
what is the actor's responsibility?
I guess that's a tough question because the actor's responsibility going this day forward is very different than it was the day before that. Yeah, now I can't. First of all, I can't imagine I'd ever do a movie that had a gun in it again. And I can't. When you say what is the actor's responsibility is to do what the prop armorer tells him to do. And we did not have a problem. I mean, I understand there was an accidental discharge at one point on the set of a blank round, but we did not have a problem for me until that day. There's only one question to be resolved, only one. That is, where did the live round come from?
Okay, so I am in no way going to read this entire thing, but I came over to the avclub.com and I'm just going to kind of pop around on it. This article is from February the 14th, 2024. And so I'm definitely going to skip the story. I'm going to skip down to the timeline itself. I just want to read a few points to kind of piggyback off what's missing from Alec Baldwin, since this lady has already been to court and he has not. October 21, 2021, the shooting occurs. Let me see. October 25, 2021, Russ Productions shut down as the investigation into the shooting launched. The producers of Rust made the decision to wrap the set, at least until investigations are complete. Meanwhile, the LA Times published the search warrant from the set, which detailed the events leading up to the shooting and identified 3 individuals who handled the gun that day: Baldwin, Halls, and Amara Hannah Gutierrez Reed. I really hope I can say that word. I promise. November 11. Okay? 2021, bro. November the 11th, in case you didn't catch that date, right? Alec Baldwin files a lawsuit against Russ crew members. In what will become an ongoing effort to clear his name, Baldwin issued a cross-complaint accusing Hannah Gutierrez Reed, David Halls, prop master Sarah Zachary, and weapons supplier Seth Kennedy of negligence. The suit claimed that due to these individuals, while Hutchins' family suffered the most, Baldwin must live with the immense grief and the resulting emotional, physical, and financial toll. Gloria Allred, representing Russ script supervisor Mamie Mitchell, who filed her own lawsuit against Baldwin, accused the actor of a shameful attempt to shift the blame to others. December the 2nd was the date of the interview. I can't remember if it said it, but the interview with Stephanopoulos. I like to say his name. And I never have a reason to say his name. Stephanopoulos. Okay, take a deep breath. I know in my last video, we took deep breaths. I only got a half a nostril open today. I don't even have a full nostril open today. So that deep breath was not going to be a good one. Now you let it out. Okay, you let it out. You ready for this next one? February the 7th, 2022, Alec Baldwin returns to work. For the first time since Russ production, just over 3 months after the shooting, Baldwin posted to Instagram to share that he'd returned to work, although not on arrest, which was still suspended indefinitely at the time. Baldwin checked in from filming an undisclosed project in Hampshire, England, sharing, "I haven't worked since October 21st of last year when this horrible thing happened on the set of this film, and we had the accidental death of our cinematographer, Helena Hutchins. I still find that hard to say." This girl ain't past go. She ain't get to collect her $200. I'm almost positive she went right to jail and ain't get out until her sentencing. But of course, I don't know nothing about nothing. She could have got out. She could have got bail right away within a day, and she could have been on bail all the way up into her sentencing. Her sentencing could have been parole. It could have been probation. It could have been nothing. But I bet you what she didn't do is fully allowed to continue on with her day-to-day life. She couldn't pick up another camera to post another video for YouTube. She couldn't have went out there and started dating another man and be like, me and him is about to do something special. She couldn't go out there and get another gun. Now, I don't know nothing about the films and shit like that he was filming, but it seems like to me, if he was able to go all the way over to England and just pick back up, he didn't have no consequences at all. He didn't pull the trigger just like that girl put. That's the part that I'm confused about. Not the technicalities of all the stuff that fall in between, all the excuses, all the talking and shit I can do. Not all that. He didn't do the same thing. He wasn't aware that when he pulled the trigger, the person was going to pass away, right? But he carelessly took a weapon and did what somebody else told him to do. They said pointed. Now, for allegedly, in my opinion, from what he didn't say and what everybody else didn't say, she ain't say he pulled the trigger. But allegedly, from all the experts, I'm not even going to say he pulled the trigger. He put the gun in a mode where it could go off. He even If you take just the time that he fired what if the blank when he fired it after they said cut? Like, I wonder, would that have been a different instance? April 21, 2022, Russ Production Company fined. Okay. They was getting some people held accountable. I don't know when the one guy pled guilty, Dave Halls. I don't know when he pled guilty to his charges. He might have did it immediately, so maybe he was the first move on to justice or something like that. August 12th, 2022, FBI wraps investigation. In August, the FBI completed a forensic analysis of the shooting. In their report, they found that the gun involved could not be made to fire without a pull of the trigger, casting doubt on initial claims made by Baldwin that he never pulled the trigger. Okay, case closed. Case closed. Go get him. Right? No, don't go get him yet. Okay, never mind. October 5th. Now you say she passed away October 21, 2022. Okay. October 5th, 2022. A settlement is reached in lawsuits against Baldwin and Russ producers. How is he even allowed? How is he even allowed? October 20. Almost a year to the day. 2022. And I bet you he did it as a symbolic bullshit ass. Russ Filming moves to California. After reaching a settlement, Russ Production begins seeking out a new location in California. An insider told Deadline at that time that it was emotionally difficult for the crew and the cast to return to the same place. Y'all disgusting. Y'all is disgusting. I could not associate with people. This is why I say all the time, I know I block a lot of my own blessings because I won't even take the job. And it pays a lot. I mean, I would, but I wouldn't be able to. I couldn't be your friend. Let me do it that way. Let me say it that way. I am very good at being very professional, but not being very friendly. I'm very good at that. I would be the most professional person, I promise you. But you would know for sure we are not friends, and I am not friendly. And I mean it. I mean that wholeheartedly, and I stand firm with my belief. I can prove that. I can prove that. I do a great job with customer service, and I am not a friendly person. Let me not say that part. An insider told Deadline at the time that it was emotionally difficult for the crew and the cast to return to the same place where Hutchins lost her life. Location scouting mostly focused around Palm Springs and the Nevada border. January January 19, 2023, Alec Baldwin charged with involuntary manslaughter. Alec Baldwin and Russ Armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed were both charged on January 19 with involuntary manslaughter. Dave Halls, assistant director on the film, already pled guilty to charges of neglect. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic today for sure. Negligent use of a deadly weapon, and will receive 6 months of probation according to Variety. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how long that already meant. But the fact that he pled guilty, I can't really comment on the 6 months. I'm really torn about the time and all that kind of stuff. So I keep that opinion to myself. But he got his time. I'm at least satisfied that something happened. Some justice. I feel like confidently I can say some justice was served. And he should be allowed to collect his $200, pass go, and kind of start to move on. You shouldn't be allowed to use no more weapons, handle no more weapons, be in charge of any more weapons because you are careless as well. April 20, 2023, Alec Baldwin charges are dropped for now. For now. I wonder, is that because somebody stepped down? Somebody stepped down. I just scrolled past it. So if you seen it, if it's because that lady stepped down, I wonder. After first AD David Halls took a plea deal for 6 months of unsupervised probation, charges against Alec Baldwin, which had already been reduced, were dropped. However, special prosecutors dropped the charges without prejudice, meaning there was still a chance he could be charged again later. The case against Hannah Gutierrez Reed continued, with more charges for evidence tampering added later. It's done, boo. It's done. She is in jail awaiting sentencing. Meanwhile, Rust, which apparently had 20 to 25 days left of production, began filming again. Rory Kennedy reportedly began work on a documentary about the movie and the shooting, with Baldwin supposedly participating. I can't wait till that documentary come out. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I really don't understand why he did the things that he did. Why he made the speeches, why he made those choices. Oh, let me do this, documentary, start back with this movie. 2 months, 3 months, I'm going back over there to do this movie. I understand. We need money. I understand that. But why did you think after Dave Halls took a plea deal, somebody already was, and they didn't drop the charges against Hannah, that you thought it was no way they were going to circle back around to you? That's the part that I really don't understand, why he thought truly he was honestly not negligent at all and was just going to get away free and clear. I can't say he allegedly pulled the trigger. I can't say it because I don't want to say allegedly. Like, you did it. You did it. Either way, whatever happens, I promise you, what was in your hand did not do it. You did it. You did it. You did it. And you act as if you are one of the victims. God damn, I can't wait till this trial starts. I can't wait. November 16, 2023, leaked footage of Alec Baldwin handling guns on set. January 19, 2024. I did not realize they waited a whole nother year to recharge him. Oh, you know what? It was like allegedly in other people's opinion that maybe they was on it for publicity reasons. Like they was trying to get the little spotlight a little bit too. That would be interesting to know. I would like to know if that's why, because this is just, it's mind-boggling to me. Let me see. More than 2 years after the shooting and having already dodged charges once, Alec Baldwin was indicted by a grand jury on 1 count of involuntary manslaughter. The charges were based on new forensic testing of the gun that killed Helena Hutchins, which was damaged in the original investigation. So y'all investigated after y'all broke it. And then I did not watch much of that trial. I watched some, but I did not watch much of that trial. I couldn't. They was boring and they was talking about shit I wasn't really interested in. I don't know. I thought it was gonna be more tea. I know his probably gonna be a lot better. So I'm gonna watch more of his, but I didn't know that they found evidence after, and that was the evidence that they was using. So after you broke it, you tested it. It was like, oh, you know what? I think he did do it. I think he did. A reconstruction of the gun by experts reportedly disproved Baldwin's claim that the gun went off on its own rather than him pulling the trigger. The damaged gun is just one of many examples of an allegedly sloppy investigation. Per The Hollywood Reporter, no fingerprint or DNA analysis was ever done on the live rounds found on set in order to determine who might be responsible for bringing them into that environment. Prop master Sarah Zachary reportedly admitted to disposing of the rounds in actor Jensen Ackles' gun to hide evidence, and those rounds were never recovered. Zachary agreed to testify for the prosecution in exchange for immunity. The conduct of the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office during and after their initial investigation is reprehensible. reprehensible and unprofessional to a degree. I still have no words for Robert Schilling, a former New Mexico State Police chief hired as an investigator by the prosecutors, wrote in an email resigning from the case that was mistakenly sent to Gutierrez Reed's lawyer. Not I or 200 more proficient investigators than I could clean up this mess delivered to your office in October 2022. Damn, I did not know that. Baldwin's trial is currently set for August 6th. The actor is once again pleading not guilty. His conduct was defended by SAG-AFTRA. What's that? AFTRA. I don't know. Which released a statement of support saying an actor's job is not to be a firearms or weapons expert. Performers train to perform, and they are not required or expected to be experts on guns or experience in their use. Then, I got one more for you. Then, they shouldn't be allowed to use them. They should have to have extras or what's the stand-ins, the stunt doubles. I promise you this is the bullshit that I'm talking about. Hannah got this job because of her modeling career. So let me stop. because of her daddy. He had to say yes or no. He could have said no. He just said okay. He didn't give a fuck. He said the man introduced, said this is her. We good to go. He didn't give a fuck. Alec, okay, you an actor. All you supposed to do is act. Again, if he shouldn't have to have any knowledge in how to use the weapons, he shouldn't be allowed. They should always have to use a stunt double. Because here's my thing. If I become a manager, you hire me as a manager because I've managed stores, I've managed warehouses, I've managed daycares, I've managed hospitals. I've managed all of these places. Let me say it like that. But I get hired to work at Amazon. I'm the manager. But I've never used a forklift. I've never used a baler. I've never wrapped a pallet. Okay? I'm going to tell you, I should not know how to use those things. It doesn't matter. I should not be responsible for the safety and the use. If I see somebody standing on their head riding past me, if there's an emergency and nobody comes in, I should not have to know how to perform all of the duties on this one particular job. Because why? Because I'm just the paid actor. I'm just the manager. I'm going to mind my business. I don't know nothing about how to use the dangerous parts of my job. But it's not my job. I'm just here. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. That's the dumbest shit that I've ever heard in my life. Only because if he is supposed to actually be made to use them. And there's training. Safety training that they have to take. So you mean to tell me he has to take safety training, but he don't really have to know how to? Okay. You right, boo. I hope and pray he get the outcome he looking for, because he innocent, y'all. He innocent. He ain't did nothing, and it was all her fault. That girl need to do his time and her time and let him move on with his life, collect his $200, pass go, and not go to jail. He got that free get out of jail card. Okay, well, we're going to see how well that's going to work. I ain't going to tell you what's so special about his court date, but Lord Jesus, I cannot wait. Let's get it, Alec. Prove your innocence. And please, I want you to bring the dream team like fucking O.J. Simpson in honor of fucking O.J. Simpson. Dream team. He brought the motherfucker. Like, if I seen the team that he had, the 2024 version, walk out with you, I'm going to be glued to this motherfucking set. It's gonna be the best trial ever, and it's gonna go your way because you ain't did shit. You was an innocent bystander, just an actor playing your role. You wasn't out there acting a fool, acting like you was in charge, throwing commands around. You wasn't doing none of that, right? Okay. All right, y'all. We got it all straight. We ready. We caught up. All right. I'll meet y'all at the trial. Bye.